Well, I have a solution. Tell people not to come to our country illegally. That's the solution. Don't come to our country illegally. Come like other people do. Come legally.
You know,
that wasn't the answer to the question, Mr. President. The President of the United States was asked about the children under 5 who were ordered as of today to be reunited with their parents. His answer, don't come here illegally.
And that was his response to this question on the government missing the deadline to reunite the youngest migrant children. A federal judge has ruled, or did rule last month, that any children under 5 must be reunited with their families by today. Officials have until July 26th to return the older kids. Now, the government says under 3,000 children are in U.S. custody right now. 102 of them are under the age of 5, and of those, 54 are expected to be reunited today, which leaves 46.
NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has been talking to parents and joins us now from El Paso, Texas. Okay, Gabe, I understand and I've heard the argument some of these children were brought here by people who weren't their parents. Now we need DNA testing. It just, in addition to some of the parents have already been deported,
Some
this
have been
is
released
a
from the population.
hornet's nest. What is the Department of Health and Human Services, or DHS, saying? They were very quick to break these kids from their parents, and now why is it so complicated?
Hi there, Stephanie. Good morning. Well, yeah, basically the government's saying, well, it's complicated, so they can't get these kids reunited in time. And today, federal judges are expected to hear from the Department of Justice again in California to get this updated timetable for exactly how many are going to be reunited today and how many would take a longer time. But much of this process, immigration advocates say, has been done in secret. So there's no clear method on how they're going to be reunited for the most part. We expect to learn more about that today. But first, let me set the scene of where exactly I am. I'm here at the border, the El Paso, Texas border. Right over there is Juarez, Mexico. The Rio Grande is right there. We're on a ride along with Customs and Border Protection with the Border Patrol. And just so you can see here, this is a canal. And there's the border fence right there. This canal is about 8-9 feet deep, and they say that it has proven fatal for several of these undocumented immigrants that come here just today. Within the past hour or so, Border Patrol apprehended about 5 Honduran nationals, they tell us. Now, you mentioned that I've been speaking with families that haven't been able to be reunited with their children, and there is a sense of desperation. We've spoken with some of them who say that every day they spend without their children feels like a month at this point. We met one woman named Digna. She's 37 years old, from El Salvador, came here several weeks ago, has only been able to communicate with her children. One is her son, 9 years old, and then her daughter had her 6th birthday several weeks ago while in custody. She described to us the desperate moments when she was forced to say goodbye to her children. Take a listen.
Solo abracé y les di un beso y les dije, mi amor, no te preocupes. Yo voy a llegar por ustedes, no sé cuánto tiempo me voy a tardar, porque fue tan fácil que nos quitaran nuestros hijos y por qué es tan difícil que los entreguen.
And we also spoke with another parent. His name was Mario. He's 32 years old. He has only been able to speak with his 10-year-old daughter just a few times. Today, he was expecting to go to a local shelter here in El Paso and see her face to face for the first time. So, Stephanie and Ali, even though this deadline is approaching and now it appears it will be extended, and there's always still confusion about how to reunite these youngest of their children, now their parents are waiting daily for more information at this point, and they don't know when they will be reunited with their children.
But that woman told you, why was it so easy for them to take our children, but so hard for them to give them back? Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.